Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today is going to be an update on my faulty Wii U that I bought from eBay earlier on this month. Some of you might have already seen the video I did on this where I tried to fix it. So I took it apart, tried to find out what the problem was and tried to fix it. Now, I found out that the problem was the motherboard that was faulty, so I couldn't pinpoint the actual faulty component. Somebody mentioned it might be the power integrated circuit, so you know, one of those chips in there. But I couldn't find what the fault was. So all I did was take the motherboard out of my working Wii U, which is this one up here, the gamepad, and I put it into this one, and that fixed the problem. So obviously there was a problem with the motherboard because beforehand it wouldn't turn on at all. So rather than spend too much time on it, what I did is I ordered a new motherboard from eBay because it was only £14.24. And this is the one I ordered here, £14.24. Now it came all the way from China and it arrived earlier today, even though it said that it was going to be estimated sometime between August and September. It actually arrived, I don't know when I did the video, only about a week and a half ago, so it arrived today. Well, I haven't unpacked it yet, but I presume it is because it says Wii U replacement motherboard. Worryingly, obviously this is quite fragile, it didn't even come in a box, it's just come in a polythene bag with... there's a few air bubbles in it, so it is a little bit of a jiffy bag, but considering that's come all the way from China, I'm a bit worried now that there might be something faulty in it. Now, after I bought the motherboard, you helpful viewers said to me, you know what, Vince? They think that the gamepads are region locked, which makes no sense at all because I can understand why the Wii U console would be region locked, but a couple or two or three people said that the actual gamepad was region locked as well. I then looked into it after buying the replacement motherboard, and yes, they are quite right. Apparently the gamepad is region locked. Now, I don't know if it comes from the factory like that or whether it's similar to like an iPhone where when you turn it on and sync to the console, it's linked to that console that it's originally synced to. I'm hoping that's going to be the case because these are apparently brand new motherboards. If not, I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. But we'll have to see. Doing a bit of research, I think, could be wrong, but I think this might be the chip that deals with the region lock. Now, my soldering skills are not good, but I did buy one of those hot air stations, and this might be the ideal opportunity. Rather than messing around with small chips like this, this might be a good one to get me started. So if it is faulty, this board here is no good to me, I might try to take the chip out of here and put it onto the motherboard here. That's if that is even the chip. I have to double check. I think from memory it was that one, but you know what, I could be wrong, and again the person on the internet could also be wrong as well. Hopefully I won't have to do that. Hopefully I can just open this up and it will work straight away. Let's have a look. It's a shame it didn't come in some kind of little cardboard box to give it a bit of protection. Alright, let's have a look at this now. Oh, it is, hold on, get it the right way around. Let me have a look at this region lock chip, see if it looks the same or not. One of the numbers look the same, everything else looks different. Well, we're only going to know by testing it out. You can see that the quality is not really there. Look at these little LEDs here for the, that's the little sensor bar at the top. This is the original one here, and this is the aftermarket one. So I'm not sure how well this is going to work. It says Nintendo there, but would it really be Nintendo? Or is it just, I suppose it's just a copy, isn't it? Who knows, I don't know, maybe these were the ones that were put into the later ones. The back looks pretty similar. Well, so it says we're only going to know by installing it and see what happens. I wonder whether these plastic things, maybe these plastic things are made to just pull off. I think they are, I think they just pull off there, and I presume these are supposed to be up straight instead of being bent. So that's what I'll try and do. I'll try to pop these off here and pop them onto the board here, and hopefully then the rest will be good. Yeah, these just pop off, so hopefully I'll be able to pop them on. There we go. Okay, so obviously that was my mistake there. These are designed just to pop on and off. Yeah, perfect. Right, okay, so I'm going to dismantle this one now because I might as well keep the motherboard that's in here and just concentrate on this this faulty one here. Now, there's no point in me showing you the dismantling again. I'll just fast forward through it so you can see it is happening now because I've already done a video on this, so it's pointless me doing it all over again. These are the screws and stuff from before. Let's So this should be just held in with a couple of screws because I didn't put it fully back together. Hope this works. Checking that all the leftover screws are the tri-wing ones, and then I know they're for the outer case. Yeah. So lastly, we just have to plug in this little one here for the rumble motor, the vibration. Right, so I think that is everything back in. There was quite a few ribbon cables and stuff, but I think that's it. Just going to put a couple of screws in it because there's no point in doing it up fully to find out that it's not going to work. So here we have the moment of truth. Let's see what's going to happen. Right, good news, I've got power. So now I'm just going to plug in my portable Wii U. This is a homemade portable Wii U, so I can take it anywhere, even though it's heavy. Let's turn this on as well. Oh, hold on, turn the battery on. Could not connect to the Wii U, that's fine because it's here. I'm going to have to sync this up, aren't I? Because it's a different motherboard, so I presume it's going to not be synced with this. Okay, so it's up on screen now, so I'm going to hit the sync button down here, and then it should come up on screen. To pair a Wii U gamepad, press the sync button on the Wii U again. Right, so now it's come up with those symbols, so now I've got to do those on here. Just got to hit the sync button at the back here. Right, symbols on screen are heart, spade, heart, and heart. Right, let's see if it's going to work or not, or whether it's going to be region locked. Oh, it's doing something. Is it going to work? Paired the Wii U gamepad with the Wii U console. Whoa, hey! Yes, I can hear sound. The Wii U gamepad update is required. The update will now be started. Okay, I hope this isn't where it does the region lock. That's the region lock. Oh, I don't believe it. Error code 1659901. The update cannot be completed using a Wii U gamepad designed for a different region. After the console is restarted, pair the gamepad supply with your console by pressing the console sync button twice. Ah, gutted. Absolutely gutted. So this is, well, you know, I sort of thought this might happen. So now, I've got to find, it's such a shame because it's a working gamepad, it's just not for this region. I presume when you buy these from China, they're going to be set for the American market, and obviously I'm from the UK. Right, so I'm going to have to find out whether this is the chip or not, and then I'm going to have to try and solder it in, but I don't really fancy my chances. But what else can I do? Apart from maybe if I homebrew my Wii U, I presume if I homebrew it, then I probably will be able to get over the region lock. But I would prefer, I think I'm going to try to go for the chip, because then I do know that the gamepad itself is I know that the motherboard is working. This isn't working, so I suppose I'd have to try and melt this chip out and then put it in. But first of all, I've got to make sure that this is the chip. Unfortunately though, online there's not a huge amount of info when it comes to the Wii U, because there's, you know, obviously like millions of these has been sold. I can't remember how many, like 13 or 14 million, but that's still a small amount compared to other consoles, so there's not a huge amount of info out there about them. But I'll do my best and then I'll come back and let you know what I found. Right, okay, there's very little information online, but I'm just going by one person who said they changed this and it works here. So if you have a look at that number there, 25Q256A, so that chip there. And yeah, basically they said that if you were to change that, that's what they've written down, then you can use a gamepad from a different region. So I'm taking a bit of a risk because I've never looked into homebrew on the Wii U, but I'm pretty sure there's probably some homebrew thing that you can get working the gamepad on the Wii U. But I think I'm going to give this a go, because even if I get it completely wrong, this isn't working anyway. It's £14.24 for another motherboard. So it's not that I want to throw away £14, but it's not the end of the world. If I do it and it goes wrong, I can just get myself another motherboard and then look into that. Well, what I'll do is I'll look into the Wii U homebrew first, and then if it's possible I can get another motherboard, because as you can see it's very easy to change over. So I'm going to give it a go, because for me it's worth the risk, and then this is quite a nice chip for me to actually practice my soldering on, rather than doing something like this which is going to fail on me every single time. At least I've got a little bit more room here to work on. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, I still don't think I can manage to do it, especially today because I've got a bit of the shakes today, I don't know why. But yeah, I'll give it a go and see what happens. I'm just unsure whether to use the hot air gun on this, the hot air station, or whether to actually just try to unsolder each of the little legs here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the motherboard on this one here, and then yeah, I'll have to try and swap them over somehow. Really don't know what's the best way to do it. My worry about using heat is that I might end up melting everything else around here as well, unless I put some kind of foil shield on to stop that happening, which I might do. My other worry about using heat is because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know at what temperature you can go up to before you break the internals off these little chips. That's why I'm more tempted just to use a soldering iron with a very small tip to do this. I'll have to see. Decisions when you don't know what you're doing. Right, okay. So I've got the faulty board on a little baking tray here so I don't set fire to everything, and the reason I'm doing the faulty board first is because although I hope that this chip is good here, if I ruin the chip when I take it off here, at least I've still got my good board that will be of use to somebody else, or possibly if I look into homebrew. So if I break this chip here, then I know that there's absolutely nothing I can do, so I might as well do this one first. Now I'm going to be using a soldering iron for this, I think, and I've got the smallest tip I can find. It looks to be a bit pointed, but I need something small. I've got it set to 280 degrees. I've got this sort of rework station from Amazon for about £80, so I know it's not going to be a professional one, but it's still going to be far better than my skills anyway. So I'm not going to be doing much chatting because I really need to concentrate what I'm doing, and obviously, like I keep saying, don't copy me on this because I will be doing it wrong. I'm sure the professional would just use the hot air part of that rework station, use something like this with a small nozzle on to do it, but I'm just worried about these little capacitors and resistors and stuff nearby, so I just want to do it with a soldering iron. Right, so I'm going to zoom in on this and let's see how it goes. Right, okay, I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of flux on it. Can I actually see if that's coming out or not? Oh yes it is, yeah. Ooh. That's just a flux burning off. I presume the solder's still all there. Now I have to remember that that little dot on the chip at the top there corresponds to the arrow here. Make sure if I do get this off that I do the same on the other board as well. Maybe I should use some hot air with a really fine nozzle. Just worried if I put air on the actual chip, I don't know how long you can leave it on there before it actually damages the chip. Let me put it a little bit higher. I'm at 280 at the moment. Let me put it up to 300. Maybe my soldering iron's too fine a point as well because I picked the finest point. But maybe I needed something a bit bigger. Maybe it doesn't transfer the heat as well when it's a tiny point. Nothing's happening there. I think I'm going to use the hot air instead. Just going to put a very small nozzle on it. I suppose really on this board it doesn't matter if I damage the other components anyway, because it's not going to be, I'm not going to be using those for anything else. Right, I'm going to do it at, again, I'm not sure what I have to do it at. I think I'm going to do it at 300. So it's at 300 and I'm just doing a tiny little nozzle. Actually I need some tweezers as well. Let me get some tweezers and I'll put a bit more flux on it. Put the air up a little bit. No, that's at full. I suppose the small nozzle restricts the air as well. This doesn't seem to be melting anything. I'm at 300, I don't know whether I need to put it any hotter. I'm going to put it up to 330. That's not budging at all. No, right, okay. Let's turn that off for the time being. I think what I'm going to have to do is put a bigger nozzle on when it cools down. I think I'm just going to have to heat the chip all over. I mean, that was at 300 and 330, and it didn't seem to... I couldn't even see the solder or anything attempting to melt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until that nozzle cools down, and then I'm going to fit a slightly bigger nozzle. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for that size there. And if I melt the other components, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to heat it up and see. I think I'll put it on, I really don't know what to put it on. I'll try that 300 and see. Maybe it's best to just blast it really hot, just on there for like, 10 seconds or so. That might be a better option. I think the problem with the thin nozzle is that it didn't allow much air through it, because the air was actually up full, but it didn't feel like that. Okay, so let's really go for it this time. I'm going to put flux all over it. And turn that on, 330, air up full, let's go for it. I think I can see the solder starting to melt on that side. Yes, 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 yes! I've done it! Hey, hey! Woo! Right, now, I wonder, have I done damage to this chip or not? Let's just lay it down softly there. I hope it doesn't solder itself to the baking tray. Right, okay, that wasn't too bad. I don't think, doesn't look like I've done damage to the old board, so hopefully if I do that same thing to the new board, then it might work. So that's what I need to do now. I'm going to do the same with this one here. Now I suppose if I was sensible, which I'm going to be because I want this to work, I'm going to get some foil and cover it up here so that I don't melt any of the other components, because although on this one it looked like I didn't melt anything else, sod's law is that on the actual one I want, I'll probably melt all the other components nearby. Just kitchen foil, and hopefully that will give a little bit of protection, I think, to the other ones. Now I'm going to put flux on again. I'm not sure what flux does. I think it make the temperature higher, or does it just conduct the heat better or something to allow more heat on the actual components, the solder pads. Again. second, I just want to cover up that LED. There we go. Right, that was weird. I didn't even have to heat up the other side. I hope I didn't... I hope I didn't put too much heat on that one now. Well, actually, it doesn't matter, does it? Because that's the chip that I don't want. Right, let me just double check the orientation. Right, so there's a little arrow there, so I want to go there. So now, if I was to place the proper chip on here, and then if I just apply a bit of heat, I'm thinking that it will go to the same pads. There might be enough solder on there. God, my hands are all over the place today. This is a bit silly because when I put the flux on here, it's going to just move everywhere anyway. Alright, let's put this here. Here. Shows you what knowledge does. There's probably a few of you watching this who will probably know by now that it's not going to work because I added too much heat, but right now I'm still hopeful. Or you might be watching it thinking, yeah, alright, he hasn't done it right, but he'll still get away with it. But right now, I haven't got a clue whether this is going to work. Right, to me they look like they're on the correct pads. So I'm going to apply heat. I'm going to try not to touch anything. And I'm hoping that it might just solder back onto the same pads that it came off. I don't want to do it too much. I'm going to remove the foil because it's I've got other components exposed now anyway. So let's zoom out a bit. Whoa, it's hot. Whoa. Okay. So I might have melted stuff on the other side. I wonder now, is that stuck? Ooh. Right, let me zoom right in on that, and then you guys who know what you're talking about will... Right, okay, so that's it there.
I'm trying to look through the lens because actually it's much easier to see through the lens of the camera. Do they all look stuck down? I think so. Yeah, okay. Right, let's try the other side. What do you reckon? Will that be okay? And I've got the hole next to that point, so I've put it on the same way. Now I don't know whether I've damaged any of these. I'm hoping the foil protected them, but I did have this one and this one a little bit exposed. This one here and this one here. So we'll have to see. Right, we'll pop it back in the board and see what's happening. Right, again, I'll be just fast forwarding through this bit. Obviously, if you guys know how to do like you know, reflowing and you know, taking chips out and stuff, please put it down in the comments. I know you've been really helpful and you've told me to watch channels which I still haven't done. I am gonna do that. I know it's Lewis Rossman, I think it is, and also another one, EGV blog or something like that, but I need to properly set aside some time to go through the videos and see what's what. But if there's like a standard, so for example the chip you see me replace, then if you guys know that it should be like 350 for 10 seconds or 20 seconds, then put it down in the comments. Or maybe it varies board to board, or maybe it varies chip to chip. Maybe some chips have a higher, you know, like a breaking point, let's say, you know, if you put them on too hot, maybe some chips are designed to take a certain heat and they'll fail over a certain heat. So if you know any of that information, obviously it might vary completely on chip to chip and board to board, but if there's like a standard that most of you use, or that you try to start by using that and then move on to different temperatures, just pop it down in the comments, because I'd like to know, and I'm sure many other people would as well. No, I've just mucked up that connection there. Ugh. Oh, this is bad. Some of those pins are bent. Oh, how did that happen? Pins sticking up there. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to... where it's supposed to go. It's come off completely now. That's the problem when you keep taking off ribbon cables over and over again. The more times you do it, the more chance there is of breaking the connector. Right, I don't think I fancy my chance of getting that back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the ribbon cable back in, because I can always, where is it, over here? I can always, you know, secure it down using some like sticky tape or something instead. Going under that last one's causing me problems. Right, okay, I'm going to actually need the camera to do this bit now, so I'm going to zoom right the way in. See if I can see what's going on. Right, it's so much easier now looking through the lens like this. So let's have a look what's going on. Get this ribbon cable out of the way. Right, let's see what's happening here. So these three are okay. This one's faulty, but I don't know why. The others seem to be fitting underneath. Right, why is that not fitting underneath there? When that goes in. Oh, maybe it's just that top bit that's broken. Maybe that's how it goes, and then the pressure puts down. Maybe I don't need that top bit. Well, I suppose there's only one way to tell, is by sticking a lump of blue tack on there and then seeing whether it works or not. I hope it's just not shorted underneath. I think I'm going to take that out again and see if I can have a look underneath it. I think it's okay. I'm not sure if that one's slightly thicker there or not. I've definitely seen that one of them was bent upwards. Don't know, and I don't know where that went to. Turn it upside down. Well, that is a shame, because you know, ideally I want to know whether the soldering of that chip worked, and if this
presume this gives maybe power to the screen. It's definitely gone in there. Right, okay, well I'll get all the others connected and then I'll worry about that one there. So with all the testing and stuff, I've actually had them undone quite a bit, and some of the connectors are pretty good, like this one here now. I could imagine you could undo that loads and it wouldn't fail, but these ones are so delicate. There's another one of them there that I still have to do, so I hope I don't muck up that one now when I do it up. I suppose it would be best to get used to doing it with tweezers more rather than your fingers. But like anything, that's another skill, is handling, you know, I'm okay with tools, but I've never had to really use tweezers before because I'm not used to working on, you know, such fine components. Right, I don't want to muck up this one here, this side now. Pretty sure that's in. Right, okay, so apart from this, I think I'm all in. So what I'll do is, I'm just going to get a lump of blue tack, just to put a bit of pressure on that, and then I can put tape on it afterwards. I'm talking about the one that failed earlier. Right, I'm just going to put that on there, just for the time being. Right, let's see if we even have power. Yes, there's power. That's good. That's a good start. Now I need to turn on the Wii U as well. Right, so the Wii U is on. So turn the TV on. Has this gone off? Uh-oh. I can see little lines flashing across here. That's not good. No, this is not good. Oh, here we go. Lights on again. The console will now check to see if there is a Wii U gamepad update. Touchpad's working. Right, so it's doing the same as before. Same thing's coming up on the TV as well. Not sure if the volume's working. The update cannot be completed due to a Wii U gamepad designed for a different region. Ah, so it's not that chip at all, is it? Oh god. Right. I can't believe that. I really thought that would be the chip, but obviously I was only going by one comment on the internet, which is probably a bit foolish of me. But good news is it looks like my soldering might have been okay. Or could it be if I damaged the chip that it wouldn't be recognised? Let's try it again. There was nothing else online apart from the fact that it couldn't be done. I was only going by that one comment, so that is a real shame. I really thought that was going to work. You know, I thought it was more going to be the case that I was going to have soldered it wrong. See, it was. Can you see it was about to start and then it just stops? Yeah, slightly disappointing, but at least you guys now know not to just buy. If you're from the UK, do not just buy a motherboard off eBay, because like me, it's not going to work no matter how tempting it is for £14, unless you get one that specifies it's from the UK, or unless you get one out of a working Wii U gamepad. that you know came from the UK, you're going to have the exact same problem as me. So yeah, hopefully it hasn't been a complete waste of time. It's just unfortunate that that in this instance it's not working. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more fix-it videos, or trying to fix it videos, or failing to fix it videos, and also how-to videos as well. Take care, bye now.